Hi friends, it's another week with Eric Lucero and Mary Franson on
The Right View MN, where we never have the wrong view.
Exactly. Well, how are you doing?
You know, I'm good. I'm getting ready to go home.
Yes.
My son turns 12 on Saturday.
Awesome.
So at 8 o'clock p.m., I've got to pick up some cupcakes that a local cupcake maker made.
Good deal.
That I ordered for my son's homeroom class. So the teachers are going to just love me in the morning.
Good deal.
24 kids are going to have some sugar.
Well, yeah, so
But it's not every day your son turns 12. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
This is
right.
my baby.
Any other presents?
For my son?
Yeah, for a 12-year-old.
You know, he got some skis for Christmas. That's kind of... So we'll see. He's got some friends coming over this weekend, so my house is going to be full. It's going to be a good time. There is nothing like having the sound of children.
That's right. Well, I hear you made some national news this week.
Yes.
What was that about?
Well,
I hear actually you were called, what, a domestic terrorist?
I was, actually, for protecting girls from female genital mutilation.
Domestic terrorists protecting our young girls.
Yes.
I don't see the connection there.
I don't either, but apparently if you want to hold parents responsible and classify this as child abuse, that makes you a domestic terrorist. I think we can agree, the individual who told this to the reporter, that my version of what a domestic terrorist is and what this individual's version of a domestic terrorist is may differ.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely.
Very much so. Well, we've got a Spotlight special guest this week.
We certainly do. And she is so great on transportation issues. I'm so excited for our listeners here, those that watch The Right View MN, to get the skinny on One Expensive Minnesota.
Yeah, One Expensive Minnesota,
Yes.
That's right, exactly. Well, our Spotlight special guest this week is...
Representative Linda Runbeck.
Yes,
Hello.
thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Welcome.
suit up here and we'll be busy.
And no, Representative Runbeck and I did not talk to each other this morning to coordinate on the colors, but you do have a beautiful color
You
on.
look dull now compared to me.
Yes.
You know, and red and blue make purple.
There we go.
There- yes.
Really going
Yes.
good here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love our new cups, Eric. These are fun.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
we should
guys see
mention
them? The Right View coffee cups here, so that's really fun. I'm the only one with anything in them. The rest are
Yeah,
just
I
pops.
haven't. Yeah, didn't have a chance to put anything in there, but yeah, just got these this week and look very excited about that. So now,
But we have to use them
hate-
on our left hand.
Well, I hated to supplant. You were using the Trump cup before, and that was a nice cup as well. So
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe we'll have to get a mixture of some additional cups in here, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But Representative Runbeck has been on the Transportation Committee. We were talking beforehand for many years, maybe even over a decade now.
Yeah, no. I think this is my 7th year.
Seventh year,
My
okay,
7th year
approaching a
starting.
decade.
Yeah.
But you have a great deal of experience on transportation and transit. And with this new One Expensive Minnesota, by the way, what we're referencing is Governor Walz this week released his budget proposal. And it is indeed One Expensive Minnesota with tax increases and else. So what's going on in the world?
You know, I think we're all just sort of in shock given how much this ask is in terms of new money. So we're seeing the 20 cents a gallon gas tax. That's a big one. We're seeing an increase in the motor vehicle sales tax. So when you buy a new car, there's going to be a greater tax on it, and an increase in the license tabs. So what that adds up to, from my viewpoint, is it's more money for transit, because out of the motor vehicle sales tax, there's a 40% portion of that goes to transit. And then they are asking for, we know what their appropriation request is for Met Council, and that's about $120 million, if I'm not mistaken. It's all about more money. And the transit piece is really interesting because we already are spending twice on transit that we are on the metro highway system. So most of the transit money is in the metro area. And
and for those who may not know what transit is, what is transit? And how is that different than transportation?
It is it's not using the highways, although it's buses, it's light rail, it's various forms of dial-a-ride or metro mobility. So all of those factor in. But the interesting thing is, of all commutes out there, only about 5% of them are via transit. So everyone acts like it's just this, delivering so many people to their jobs, but it's really a very, very small portion. And it'll never change. the zenith for transit was about 30 years ago, when 10% of folks got to their jobs via transit. Today, it's only 5 or 6%. Yeah, so bus ridership is declining, and they don't want you to know that. They want you to know that light rail ridership is increasing, and it is a little bit, but it's at the expense mostly of buses.
So you're right. So I used to sit on the transportation committee, and I enjoyed our time together. Unfortunately, I'm not on the transportation committee this session, but I do recall those presentations from the Met Council that they would tout the increased numbers in light rail, for example. But as you just mentioned, it's cannibalizing bus ridership.
Well, and people in my area do not want to pay for the light rail, and they want to see more money brought back to the rural areas for roads and bridges.
Absolutely.
And we need township aid, we need county aid for roads, and
so you're saying light rail from downtown Minneapolis to Eden Prairie, Southwest Light Rail doesn't benefit
Alexandria, Otter Tail, Henning, New York Mills? No, it doesn't. Instead, what it does is it concerns the taxpayers. One Expensive Minnesota, they are already paying an arm and a leg for services in this state. And just think about this One Expensive Minnesota, how it's going to drive up our goods that are transported.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that's something else that isn't exactly being talked about. But I've got truckers that are reaching out to me saying, you know what, this is, one gentleman said, this is $10,000 for just his 4 vehicles a year right off his bottom line.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
Wow. You know, and I think a lot of people don't know, most people don't know actually, that when they are driving through the metro area, the Twin Cities, and they're in the middle of congestion, and there's still only 2 lanes when there should be 3 lanes, things like that, you go right to the Met Council and say, why is that happening? Because they decide all transportation in the Twin Cities. They're not, that's them. It's not MnDOT. MnDOT has basically waived their right to decide. So, yeah.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
In fact, it's congestion by design, engineered congestion.
Yeah.
For the intent of making their desire is to get people out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it really is troublesome, and to realize that we're spending twice what we spend on roads on transit. So it's all subsidized. I should say that too. 70% of every ride on the bus or the light rail is subsidized by state taxpayers. 70%. And it'll never get any better. That's pretty much the standard across the country.
Any given time when you are at a stoplight and you see a light rail go by, it is never full.
Oh gosh, no.
I've seen that video that you two did.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, you should maybe post that on the Right View Women.
That's a good point. I'll see if we can merge it in there. But yes, for those who haven't seen the video, Representative Runbeck at the time, Chair Runbeck of the Transportation Policy Committee, we took a ride on light rail, and it was empty, a handful of people on there.
It was. And of course, I mean, part of it is that it takes so long, much longer to go via light rail to, say, Minneapolis.
Absolutely.
Than to drive or whatever. So it's not a great story, I don't think, but I'm waiting to hear exactly what the rest of the story is on transit from the governor and his folks.
And the House and Senate. They still have to put their budget together too. So
now, and there is one good piece to transit, and that is the arterial bus rapid transit, which does not require a guided fixed roadway. It is one that just has some better ways to board the bus. You pay outside when so it doesn't require the long wait to get on the bus, things like that. And there's 4 or 5 lines planned, and those are great. I think that's a wonderful way to do a much more streamlined, a much improved bus, itself.
Absolutely.
So that's all we're seeing so far in their plan from Met Council.
Interesting.
Where if they have decided that they're done with light rail, they haven't exactly said that, but we might be seeing the end of any new proposals on light rail. I don't know.
Well,
nice.
I'll tell you, Republicans, we get a bad rap for when it comes to transit and buses. And in fact, and it's unfortunate because the truth is Republicans, and I know we're strongly in favor of buses. It's efficient, and it has synergy with the roads and bridges transportation.
More lanes, not trains.
That's right.
And if they can do a bus system that is regularized so that people know exactly when it's supposed to come and give us, on the track, the reader that says whatever the
and bus routes can be
timing.
changed.
Yeah.
When lifestyle
they're
habits
flexible.
are changed.
Yeah. So you could, I mean, we would see a much greater usage of them and ridership if it was done right? But
Right.
they've never really done buses quite right. And maybe that was by design also.
So one more topic that was in the governor's budget that was announced this week, jaw-dropping, and it's transportation related, and that's MNLARS. So MNLARS, the replacement database for vehicle titles and driver's license, was supposed to be an original, I think, $48 million a decade ago. And then as of last year, we were up to $100 million, and just before we adjourned, I think we appropriated another $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at $110 million as of last year. This year, there's a bill, we just heard it in the Judiciary Committee today, that's another $16 million towards MNLARS and that debacle. And then the governor announced another, did you see this? $100 million above and beyond everything that's been spent already. And on top of that, in there, the details, they're saying part of it is for additional staff for operations for 2 years. And my understanding, when they testified over and over and over again last year in committee, that the savings, the operational efficiency at the state level by pushing off some of the duties to the deputy registrars and others would save the human staff hours at the state level, but now they're asking for more full-time employees, FTEs. It's jaw-dropping, frustrating.
They're taking advantage of a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we know?
Exactly.
Gives us plenty to talk about next week, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, speaking of next week, well, I should say events coming up here. A very important event this coming Saturday, and that is the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus Day for supporting our Second Amendment rights.
February
Saturday.
23rd? February
Yes.
23rd.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody to come out.
Please do.
So as a member of the Public Safety Committee, it was just announced this week that the gun bills, the Universal Background Check Bill and the Universal, or what are they calling it? The Red Flag Gun Confiscation Order Bill is going to be coming up next week. So what a more appropriate time to have the gun rally this weekend. So if you can come out to the Capitol, I will be there. I hope to see you there because we need to stand up for our Second Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Thank you for joining us this
You
week.
bet. This is super.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us, and you have a good weekend. Have a good birthday party.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
bring a
gonna be great.
cupcake in.
Well, I think they're going to be all gone, but I hope that he just enjoys them. I know they're going to be great. So,
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and
Thank
that's
you.
a wrap.